Shall we get started? I realize a few people might be joining us in just a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and get us started. So, thank you all for joining me today on this rainy Tuesday in Nashville. I don't know. I know we have people all over the state, so maybe the weather isn't so crummy there, but today it is a little bit rainy and dreary in Nashville on and off. So, thank you for joining me and taking the time away from your lunch just to learn a little bit more about nutrition on campus. I did want to note that. Oops, one slide too many. I'm here. I'm Cara, your dietitian, your campus dietitian, and we're going to go over some great information today just about health and wellness options across campus and just in general. How should you be forming a healthy plate if you're trying to just eat a more well balanced diet? So, just a couple of things. I did put some information in the chat. So, there is a copy of the slides there. Also, if you need to leave early or you have a friend coming on late or not able to join at all, there is a link to the YouTube channel there. And I did want to mention that a lot of campuses are offering some form of incentive or benefit or employee wellness incentive for attending these classes. So I know each university has a little bit different requirements and different regulations, but some maybe you only get credit for 4 of them, but you could still listen and get the credit. So I do want to make you aware of that, that I am trying to work with some of your HR departments. If you reach out to HR and they have no idea what we're talking about, please connect them with me because I really would like to get these incentives across the board so that employees like yourself, when you're taking time away from a regular lunch hour to learn a little bit more and better yourself, that you can get some credit for that and really kind of be rewarded for that effort. As mentioned, my name is Cara Miller, and I am your campus dietitian. I cover the Tennessee district, so I am based out of Nashville. If you're out there at ETSU, big shout out to Jordan, who's our new campus dietitian out there. She is working with that location specifically, but I'm thankful that you all are on the call as well. And then, of course, all the Nashville area schools, UT Martin, Lee, anybody we've missed, I don't know, but thank you for being here. This session is being recorded, as I mentioned, so that you're able to listen to it at a later time if you need to. Just a little overview, we're going to talk through how to build a balanced plate. This might seem a little bit basic, but sometimes we get thrown off. There's like so much diet culture in this world and people telling us to eat this and not that, and this is bad and this isn't, and all the questions. So we're just going to kind of go over what a balanced plate is. Then we're going to go over some different healthy eating on campus, just how to navigate your campus options, and then some dining tips. I think we've got some fun advice or some little things that can help you out along the way, and I hope that you'll take full advantage of those. And then, as mentioned, if you're joining us just a little bit late, I have extra information in the chat, so you're welcome to click on any of that information there as well. I don't have access to the chat while I'm sharing my screen, so please bear with me. I will leave time for questions at the end. If you do have a question, you can type it in the chat or you can raise your hand at the end, and I can unmute you if you'd like to ask a question that way. But so far, we're going to start with building a balanced plate. So just an overview, looking at our portions, we really do want half of our plate to be really colorful. This could be fruit, this could be vegetables, and then a quarter of your plate to be your carbs or your grains, your different carbohydrates. We're going to talk about each of these individually, and then a quarter of your plate for protein. Don't forget the healthy fats. We'll talk about why, but this kind of just gives you a big overview. And one thing I like to mention with this slide is there is a reason for this. So our colorful things, our whole grains, even our proteins act to help us fill us up and feel satisfied. So we have like a stomach that's sort of like a giant funnel, sort of. There's like some liquid in there. And when you put the food in, it can either sit there and kind of digest, or kind of like when we put our cereal in milk for a long time, it gets sort of smushy. Some of our foods will turn to mush. So if you think of cereal, crackers, pretzels, these are not bad foods. These are things you can eat. There's no foods off limits, but you may have to watch those portion sizes because your stomach won't. When we eat like broccoli or chicken, it just kind of sits in our stomach, right? It takes a little bit of time to digest. So it stretches our stomach, sends up hormones to tell our brain that we're full. However, if we're eating these like smushy type foods, those can sort of get mushy, slip through the funnel, and now that stretch doesn't happen to tell us that we're full, and we can end up overindulging or overeating. And so it's not that these foods are bad, it's just that our body doesn't regulate the portion sizes as well. So just kind of keeping that in mind, that when we're adding more color and more protein and these great whole grains, it helps to fill up our funnel to keep us full and satisfied. The other thing I always like to mention is not to forget your water. So, water is super, super important to stay well hydrated. This helps you stay alert, it helps you better identify your hunger cues. Most of us don't even know what it feels like to be hungry. It may not be a gurgly belly, it may be a headache, it may be loss of concentration. Some people get dry mouth or watering mouth, some people get really cranky. I'm one of those people. I kind of get cranky if I'm getting a little bit too hungry. So, kind of be aware, what are your hunger cues? And then if you can drink some water, it can help you to better identify those. And the goal is, if you have your weight in pounds, roughly divide that by 2. That's roughly the amount of ounces of water you should be consuming every day. And that's just kind of a rough estimate, but it does give us a number. And it's not always those like 64 ounces or 8 glasses. You may actually be needing more than that. And being dehydrated can make you feel extra tired and lethargic. So kind of keeping that in mind too. If you're having trouble staying alert, having trouble even getting up in the morning, you actually might be dehydrated. So let's focus on carbs for a second. It does help us with our energy. It's our brain's main source of energy. I know there's a lot of fad diets out there and right now that are eliminating this food group, or at least eliminating it for a period of time. I'm happy to talk through that with you, but that isn't something that I recommend. It can work for a period of time. It can have some weight loss, but almost always this weight is regained. So if it is for weight management, I recommend, reaching out to myself or another dietitian before you start. There can also be health consequences or higher risks whenever we eliminate a big food group. So all foods included, everything in moderation too, but we can look at that a little bit more detailed. So carbohydrates, these can be things like fruit, all are different colors, maybe a sweet potato or a regular potato, different whole grains. Beans and legumes are a great form of plant-based protein, but they also provide us some carbohydrates. Milks, so kind of keeping this in mind too, cow's milk and soy milk have the carbohydrates and the protein in them, but things like our almond milk, oat milk, coconut milk, all these common trends right now, there isn't much in them. It's kind of a flavored water. If you like the taste, that's totally fine. But if you're thinking that you're getting protein from it, you might want to reconsider just a little bit. Another one would be like a whole grain brown rice or something like that. I do get the question sometimes like, Cara, how do you know like if a vegetable is a carbohydrate or like a starchy vegetable or not? And I was kind of reference, if you eat like corn or peas, you know how you get that kind of creamy texture in your mouth? But now think about if you were to eat like a cucumber or a tomato. It doesn't really do that. It doesn't give you that kind of that creamy texture is the carbohydrate. So that can kind of give you a feel for if your vegetable is going to count as a carbohydrate or if it's going to count just towards the color. Another thing we want to look at, oh, I don't know what happened there. There's like a little thing in the back, is build and repair. So making sure that you've got all of your different proteins. Again, we talked about the plant-based ones. So you've got your beans and legumes, maybe a nut butter, something like that. You can even do this for breakfast. It doesn't have to be that hard. So maybe you're not eating beans for breakfast, but you can have eggs for breakfast. You can have yogurt for breakfast. Our Greek yogurts have a little bit more protein, so that can be a great option. The nuts and seed butters, those are great proteins. And then one thing I'm trying to encourage even our athletes right now is to eat less legs. And I know that sounds crazy, but if we're looking at like a cow is our beef, that has 4 legs. A pig has 4 legs, that's our pork. Whereas like a chicken or turkey has 2 legs, and our fish have none. So if we can try to eat less legs, I know that really seems crazy, but it can be kind of a good gauge of, a couple of times a week, it's fine to have those other options. But if you can stick to some of the leaner proteins, that can help you out. And then of course the fish have those excellent oils in there, which can help with heart health and cholesterol, and just keeping you well and decreasing inflammation overall, which we are all needing more of. Color is great for protection. So when we're looking at color, each color has a different key nutrient. So just kind of keeping that in mind, that it is protecting us. It's creating this anti-inflammatory effect. The more colors we have, the more key nutrients that we have. And so kind of looking at your plate and trying to see, like, is it all kind of tan, brown, orange, or do you have some color on there? And it doesn't have to be fruit or vegetables, right? Like you could do both. If you like, maybe you don't like green peppers or red peppers, but if you like carrots, which are kind of that sweeter flavor, you may really enjoy orange peppers or yellow peppers. Again, on different flavor profiles, maybe you do like the spicy things, you may like arugula, whereas someone who likes more sweet things might like a butter leaf or more of a romaine style lettuce. Looking at other things, maybe you don't like purple beets, you think they're too, earthy flavored, but maybe you could do purple grapes. So again, just trying to make sure that you are hitting each of the different color buckets and eating a rainbow. I mean, Skittles are good, but we're hoping to get them from fruits and vegetables. So kind of just focusing on that, making sure that you're getting in all your fruits and vegetables. Again, helps with antioxidants to reduce inflammation. The other thing is it has lots of great fiber, which helps our gut health. So we have these trends right now of taking probiotics, which is ingesting the healthy bacteria. But the other thing we want to do once that healthy bacteria is in there is feed it. And fruits and vegetables are a wonderful source of food for our healthy bacteria. So that's considered a prebiotic. And the other thing is that our fruits and vegetables do provide a lot of water for us, especially as we're going into the fall and winter months when the weather starts cooling down. We need to make sure that we're really well hydrated, and that's a little bit harder to do. I know I like drink warm water, that's sort of strange, but another great way to do that is to make sure you have enough fruits and vegetables in your diet. We can't forget about the fats. This is one of those things where you eat a meal and you're like, oh my gosh, I ate a whole bunch of food, but I really don't feel satisfied. A lot of times you are missing this fat component. So just kind of keeping that in mind that these healthy oils can provide some great satiety, but they also have a lot of health benefits. They can help you, like I mentioned, reduce your inflammation, help your heart health, and just help you feeling well overall. So the nuts and seeds, again, the nut butters, you can look at the different milks, avocado. So if you're looking to add, maybe you're trying to look at adding a healthy fat to your salad. And so you could do salsa with avocado and kind of blend that up as opposed to doing like a ranch or something. So if you love ranch, go for it. If it helps you eat the vegetables, I'm okay with that. But if you are looking for a change or a flavor change, that might be something to consider. So what about eating on campus? I wanted you to just give you some rough estimates. So I took some numbers from across the district, and I put them into these kind of strange little number figurine things because I thought it would be kind of fun. So on average, we go through roughly 190 backpacks full of broccoli each week. That's a lot of fresh stuff. I know a few of our chefs right now are working with local farmers to supply our salad bars. So thinking about that, we go through almost 18 wheelbarrows full, those big industrial size ones, not like a little one from your backyard, full of lettuce greens each week. Again, the weight of a little panda bear is how many carrots we go through. So just tons and tons of fresh produce. It is everywhere. Worth of total fresh produce, fruits and vegetables, about 2,000 basketballs full each week. That is a lot of fresh produce, which for fruit is the weight of a baby grand piano. And then, those little bags of minute rice that you have? Yeah, each week we go through almost 900 of those in volume. Of course, we're getting them big packages, not little minute rice. That would take a long time to heat them all up. But that's how many, like 900 of them every single week, just in our whole grains. So just kind of thinking about there are lots of fresh, great available options for you on your campus to find fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, whole grains. Sometimes you have to look a little bit more, but we always have them available. So one way that you can know what's available is by using our Bite app. If you're not familiar with this, it's called Bite You by Sodexo, and it's that little blue emblem right at the top there. If you go in your app store, that's what it shows up as. And when you download it, you search by location, and so you just pick where you are. It's one of those things where you can like search the name, or you can give it your location one time and it'll find the nearest one to you. And it pulls it up so that you can look at it by day, you can look at it by meal period. So this one over here you can see is lunch. And then it does break it down by station as well. So when we're talking about like navigating, we're going to talk a little bit about mixing and matching when you get to the dining hall. This can give you a great option of knowing what's where and how to find it. So this little heart emblem is known as our mindful emblem. And so if you see this little this little like yellow green heart, that really means it's a healthy choice. So it takes into consideration extra fiber, lower calories, and lower sodium. So that's a good gauge to look for. And then we also have the two plant-based. So the V, which is orange, is for vegetarian. So that will include things with egg and milk, but otherwise plant-based. And then vegan, which is a really strict vegan category. Our vegan through Sodexo is this orange VG, I'm sorry, orange, green VG. And I remember it because vegans go a little extra, so they have the extra letter, and they're really green, right? They eat lots of vegetables. So that's how I remember that the VG is for vegan. And just so that you're aware, for Sodexo standards, even white refined sugar is not considered a vegan option. So if any of our recipes have white refined sugar in them, it is not vegan. And the reason being is that some refined white sugar is actually refined with bone char, making it non-vegan product. So just kind of keeping that in mind that Sodexo really does have strict vegan criteria in our labeling. So what could you do? There's a few ways that we could balance out our plate, right? We've got that little plate down at the bottom. We're trying to get at least half of our plate of vegetables or color, fruits and vegetables, a quarter plate of carbohydrate, and a quarter plate of protein. So you could try a smaller plate if portion sizes seem to be tricky. I know some of the accounts I've been to, they have giant plates. So go ahead, grab yourself two little ones or something if it helps you with portion sizes, especially in the all you care to eat dining. You don't have to grab everything right away. Like maybe you want to have a salad, sit down, eat, then you're going to go up and get your entree, sit down, eat, go up and get your dessert, right? So you can portion size that. And each time then being able to check in with your hunger cues. Am I hungry? Am I full? Do I want just a little? Would I like some more? It gives you a little bit of a break so that we're not mindlessly eating. A lot of times when we're eating with friends, it's a very joyful experience, but we kind of forget to check in with ourselves and realize, are we hungry? Are we full? Are we getting there? Should we wait a little bit? So kind of giving yourself some of those blocks is helpful in checking in with yourself. Another thing you could do is ask for sauces on the side. Sometimes we have that available at different places. Maybe some of my accounts even have things like spice racks, and you can kind of add your own spices, or maybe it is a salad dressing option. Um, and try to skip the all or nothing mentality, like, ah, forget it, I'm just going for the pizza and the burger and fries. Or could you say, actually, really, that pizza looks delicious. I would really like some pizza. So I think that that's going to hit like my carb area, but I know I still need a little bit of protein and I still need some color. So I'm going to have a yogurt parfait with that. I'm going to go over to the yogurt station, get some fruit on it, and then might have like a little side salad or cooked vegetable on the side too. That way you are getting what you want, but you don't have to say all or nothing, right? Maybe you want to pair pasta with some vegetables. So that kind of gets into our mix and match concept, where a lot of places are having like a separate station for their pizza and pasta. So you can go over and get some pasta, and then maybe you want to add some cooked vegetable from it from the entree line, some marinara sauce from the pasta line, and maybe some chicken from another line. You can kind of like mix and match that way. Or like I said, maybe if you're going to get a pizza, you're going to add some salad or fruit with it. Maybe with a hamburger, you choose a single hamburger. I know some of our accounts have some retail locations as well. So even thinking about like a Chick-fil-A or something, right? Like you could go for the fried chicken sandwich with the milkshake and the French fries, which is all kind of a tan, brown, orange plate. But if we're looking at trying to make sure that there's at least three colors on our plate, is there a way that even with a fried sandwich, maybe you're going for the fried chicken sandwiches, you just love it. Perfect, go for it. Could you add like some lettuce and tomato on the sandwich? And could you add a fruit cup instead of the French fries? Or maybe you love the French fries and you could care less about the sandwich. So you're going to do a grilled chicken sandwich or the grilled wrap with the extra veggies on it. You're going for those French fries, but then instead of a milkshake, you're going to choose something like water or the diet lemonade. I don't know, something like that, right? We can kind of mix it up, choose what you want, but also make some healthy choices around it. And so there too, maybe you want to make your own taco salad. You can grab a whole bunch of veggies from the salad bar, head over to the grill to get a grilled chicken breast, or maybe there's some at entree that day. Then a lot of our accounts have a big salsa station, so you're just going to add your own salsa, maybe some sour cream, or a little bit of ranch dressing, or maybe they've got hummus. You really can make it however you want, but that way you really are having half of a plate of color, quarter plate of protein, and a quarter plate of carbohydrates. Some more mix and match ideas is to start with your protein and then work your way around. So I always like to kind of do a walk around anyway. You can look at the Bite app and see what's available, or you can kind of just do a walk around, right? It's kind of like Thanksgiving dinner. Which, by the way, I'll mention at the end. But for November's talk, we're actually going to do healthy holidays. So keep that in mind. Tell your friends if you want some healthy holiday tips. But one of them is If you're like going to the buffet line at Thanksgiving, you start at the beginning, right? And you're like, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks good too. I'll add a little of that. Oh, I'll add oh, that looks really good. And you get to the end and you have like this full plate. But if you had walked the line beforehand to kind of see what was where, you would have realized, oh my gosh, one of my favorite things is at the very end. So I want to make sure I save room on my plate for that. So the same concept is true in the dining hall. There's usually a lot of choices to choose from. So maybe you realize that one of your favorite meats is at the simple serving station. So start there because that's our allergen friendly station. We have to serve you on a clean plate to keep our students with allergies safe. So you can just say, hey, can I just get some of that meat on a big plate, please? They'll give it to you on a big plate, and then you can go to the other stations, add your veggies, add your carbohydrates. I know one school right now has like kind of like a mez bar. They've got a couple different hummus. They've got a vegan cold bar. So they've got some different like quinoa and tofu, and you could really make a really jazzed up salad there too. So again, just kind of mixing and matching. Maybe you want to make a sandwich. You like the meat at entree and you like the veggies from the salad bar. All you need is a bun. So same with a wrap, right? You could go over to our deli station and ask for a tortilla or a wrap and just say, I'm going to make it myself. Or you could go over to the grill and ask for a bun. Easy as that. Another thing we mentioned already, the pasta toss, but another one might be like a burrito bowl. So some of my accounts now too have their microwaves back. They were gone during COVID, but now maybe you've got rice or quinoa, even if it's on the cold bar. You can fill up a bowl with rice or quinoa. Maybe you put some vegetables or cooked vegetables on there, or even raw spinach. Put some cut up chicken. Maybe you ask for a black bean burger at the grill or one of the vegetarian burgers at the grill, and you could dice that up and put on top. And then if there's anything cold in it, you could just microwave it. And that way, then it wilts your spinach a little bit. You can kind of toss it all together and make yourself your own burrito bowl or stir fry bowl. Also, faculty and staff are often at your desk. So either you're teaching and you've got some stuff in your bag, or maybe you're going back to your desk for office hours. So making sure that you've got stuff available to you and recognizing that a lot of this stuff is available through our simple serving station or our convenience stores on campus. Maybe it is the protein bars like a Kinder Cliff bar. Maybe you're going to do some sort of whole fruit with a peanut butter. If you can get at least 2 of those buckets on this, that's really helpful. I know I get sometimes questions like, well, how many calories should I be eating? How much really should I be eating? And I always kind of go back to that plate. I don't think we have to micromanage and calorie count if we're able to kind of even just take pictures of our plates and say, did I get my color? Did I get my carb? Did I get my protein? So when you're looking at these snack options, making sure that you're hitting at least 2 of those buckets. So maybe it is trail mix or some nuts with an applesauce squeeze. Maybe you're going to do some oatmeal and add some raisins to it. Oatmeal is a great one to keep at your desk. Again, they're all shelf stable items, so you can just keep them, add hot water. Tuna packets and crackers, as long as it doesn't stink out your neighbor. Some of them are kind of smelly when you open them, but I love a good tuna packet. They have so many different flavors now. The Starkist brand especially has things like the sweet and spicy. They've got the garlic herb, so those are kind of fun to try. Protein shakes, some of our accounts sell these, but you could also just keep them at your desk. It's a good option, especially if you're kind of like me, where on your way home, you're starving. You've eaten an early lunch and it's getting late, it's almost dinner time. You're stuck in traffic on the way home, and you realize that when you walk in the door, you're either going to eat the whole kitchen before you make dinner, or you're going to have something on the way home. So some of these like protein shakes are a good option. They're often a flavor that's enjoyable, so you can kind of enjoy something chocolatey or whatever on your way back home, so you're not starving when you walk in the door. And lately, of course, with our weather getting colder, I love a good hot tea or hot cocoa. That's a great option. If you do have a mini fridge, these are items a lot of times you can get in our Simply To Go station. Our yogurt parfaits, our grape and cheese cups, hard-boiled eggs that are pre-peeled, which is really handy, carrots and celery. It usually either comes with a dip or some kind of hummus. And then we do have pretzels or pita with hummus as well. Fresh fruit cups, string cheese. These are all options that are available to you right on campus. So what other dining tips can I give you? All right, so one of them is to download our website to the home screen of your phone. And you're like, Car, I've got a computer. Yeah, no problem. But when you're in the middle of teaching class or you're out and about and you're like, I wonder if Starbucks is open yet. All you have to do is pull up the website on your phone and click what's open now. and it will pull up the locations right on your phone, which is really handy. So you can find the locations and their hours. You can find what's open now. We do have the menus on the website as well, similar to the Bite app. It's a little easier to navigate on Bite, but you can do it on the web as well. So you could, of course, save this to your home screen of your computer as well, but I do find it handy to have it on my phone. The Meet the Teams page. Maybe you have a question, maybe you have a concern, maybe you can't remember who the new general manager is or something like that. It is helpful to know who you're seeing in the dining hall or who you could ask questions of. We're always open to feedback. We're not able to address a concern unless we actually know about it. So please feel free to speak up and speak to our teams. We're happy to help. And like another great option is adding some campus bucks, which I'll talk about in just a minute. So here's an example of a school where you could add it to your home screen. You click on the website, then down at the bottom, you click your share button. That's how you get to it. And then it pulls up and it says add to home screen. So you're going to click the plus button and then you can name it whatever you want. Add to your home screen. So you name it whatever you want. Belmont Dining, ETSU, blah, 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 whatever you want. Then hit add and it saves it right on your home screen of your phone. So it's like a one click away. Really, really handy. So I mentioned campus dollars. There's a couple things that you could do, honestly. I think a great option is to add campus dollars. So some people call it like Bruin Bucks, Bison Cash. I'm trying to think what some of my other schools are, but all of them have like a different name for it. But essentially it's campus dollars. And the nice thing about this is that it helps you stick to your budget. So especially as we're coming into the new year, some people say like, hey, I'd really just like to spend, $30 a month on dining on campus. Okay, great. Put $30 on, or maybe you want to pull it through the whole semester and do 140 or whatever, 120. So that way you've got it on your card and it links it right to your ID from campus, just like the students, and you can go around and swipe. So those dollars are dollar for dollar, they're tax exempt, and you can use it at the retail location. So like a $4 Starbucks drink is 4 of these campus dollars. Or you can use it to get into the dining hall. And the dining hall prices are what they are, but is nice because if it's, I think, usually $8 to $10 is a meal swipe at All You Care to Eat, is much less expensive than a lot of other All You Care to Eat dining plans. So you could easily swipe, it'll take off your $8 to $10, whatever it is, something like that. And you can go in with your peers or your friends or even a student to grab coffee if you're having a meeting with them or some prospective parents or something. Um, any retail location on campus accepts them. You can use it in the dining hall, like I mentioned, or maybe just to buy morning coffee or a snack. I mentioned those snack items you could keep in your backpack or in your desk drawer, as well as in your mini fridge. So these are really nice options to have. Of course, you can use debit credit. It will charge you tax, so you do save a few dollars if you do it this way. The other thing is to sign up for a voluntary meal plan. Maybe you're going in, 3 times a week. And so if you sign up for this meal plan, most of the meal plans, you'll have to check the specifics at your specific school, but most of them are good for at least a year. So just kind of think about that because you could really spend the 50 meals or whatever. It saves you money because they usually discount it. And that way you've got it on your card. You know how many you've got. All you have to do is swipe at a register and say, how many meals do I have left? And they'll let you know. So again, it can help you budget. It can help you plan. It can help you eat healthy while you're in this really busy schedule or busy season, so that you can really be aware of things. Some places are even still allowing meals to go from the dining hall, so you'll have to check your specific location. I do know some are no longer offering meals to go, but that is an option to look into as well before purchasing a meal plan. Maybe maybe you're a single or you and someone else in the house, and so grabbing meal like a box to go from the dining hall before you leave the office at 4:30, 5 o'clock might be a great way for you to do dinner once a week, so kind of keeping those kinds of things in mind where we might be able to help ease the stress and still give you great nutritious options. Okay, I'm gonna hop off this screen just for a second. I promise I'll come back, but I did want to show you I just pulled up Belmont's screen. So this is the homepage if you were to look at it from a computer standpoint. And I love this. You can just click what's open now. That's what I was mentioning on the other one you can use from your home screen, and it pulls it up. So it not only gives you the hours, but over on the right, you can even see the menu. So it gives you the location, and then it'll tell you the hours too. So this is so handy. Again, like I said, maybe you're just like, I just need a cup of coffee. What's open? Just click what's open now, and it will tell you. And you can even, I think you can slide the bar. Yeah, see? And it will tell you like, okay, what's open at 6:30 p.m. And it will tell you, it'll refresh. So that's a really nice option, just so that you can have some ideas of what's open on campus. Let's see. I'm gonna hop back over to my other screen. I think I'm gonna stop screen. Oh, I'm gonna put this up here quick. Okay, if you need it, my contact information is at the bottom there. I am going to hop off here in just a second so I can check the chat and we can answer any questions you've got there. And I will repost. I was saying at the very beginning of the talk, I have my contact information, a copy of the slides, as well as a copy of the recording, which is on my YouTube channel. All of that is linked in the chat. So if you can open up the chat box, you'll be able to see all that. And I've also linked all the websites. So if you are looking to add your campus website to your phone, you can do it that way. If you want to add a meal plan or you'd like to add some of those bucks, campus bucks to your account, please do so. We really value you on campus. And I do think too, it gives you a great perspective of what students are experiencing. So you can really relate to the students as well. So let me hop off of here and stop my screen share. And that way I can see what is in the chat. I'll post this one more time. If anybody needs it, feel free to grab it. And then I'm back on chat. So if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take those now. And then I will be posting the recording to this session later today. Thank you all for joining me.